Welcome to becoming a
Guys,
successful
welcome back to my
Microsoft
channel.
technical
So
support
on
with
today's
Thompson.
video, we are going to be talking about sharing policies on SharePoint and OneDrive. Okay, so if you see on my screen now, you can see this is the SharePoint Admin Center. Alright, so for you to configure sharing policies, you need to go to policies on the left, then you click on sharing. Alright, so when you click on sharing, it's going to bring this page where you can see two different lines, one under SharePoint and one under OneDrive. Okay, so now you can see it lists anyone, new and existing guests, only people in your organization. So when you move this circle on this line down or up, all right, depending on where you stop at, that's where the sharing policies is going to apply to. Okay, so same for SharePoint. All right, however, you need to know that OneDrive is integrated to SharePoint, so you can't do SharePoint leaving OneDrive. So OneDrive moves with SharePoint. Okay, so now I'm going to first explain anyone with the link. All right, so when you put it on anyone, it means that anyone, when you share a file, anyone that has access to that file, okay, is going to be able to access it. Alright, so you see, users can share files and folders using links that don't require signing. That is actually pretty straightforward, I may say. Alright, it's very straightforward. So now we are going to experiment that so that you understand. Okay, so now I'm going to go to OneDrive, then I'm going to go to my files. Okay, so I'm just going to look for a document we can use for a test. Now let's scroll down and we're going to see, okay, let's use latest. Now let's share, or yeah, let's just share. Then we are going to make sure that it's on anyone with the link also. All right, so you click on the settings icon, is on can edit, so we're going to click on set this icon and we're going to make sure it's on anyone. Okay, so you are going to apply, copy the link. So just to prove to you that we don't need a sign in, we're going to open an incognito browser, paste the link, and we're going to hit enter. Alright, so you can see this file is opening without us signing into any account. If you look at the right up corner, you're going to see there's no account signed in. Okay, so I'm just going to edit this now, and you're going to see this edit we edited is going to reflect on the other end. Okay, it's going to reflect on the other end. That is where we sent the files from. Okay, so let's go back and we're going to open this file here. The changes we made on the incognito browser, we should see that changes right here on the main browser. Okay, still loading. Alright, so you can see the changes we made have now been reflected. So we are going to make more changes, so you're going to see it's going to reflect on the incognito also. Alright, so this is just how the anyone works. You can see. Alright, so you can see the changes are now here. So this is how anyone works. Okay, so it means that anyone that has access to your file can make changes whether with an account. So now when you go to new and existing guests, the difference is this: you need to provide a verification code for you to be able to sign in to the file or folder shared. So if you share a file directly, all right. However, before I explain further, let's create a test. Now that we've put this on new and existing guests, let's create a test first, then we see the behavior. Okay, so users will need to authenticate. Okay, so now let's share a file, or let's share a file. Yes, so let's share and make sure that it's on new and existing guests. All right, so that is people in mega devs already. Okay, so we are going to copy that link and go back to the in private window so that we can test it out. And also, this is we copying a link. If you actually send this directly to a user by typing in the email and all, it's going to receive it in his email and it's going to be asked to input the verification code he got in his email. All right, but this time we are not using that. We are copying the link directly and pasting. So you can see it requires you to sign in to an account. Okay, so now if you don't have access to this file, if you're not granted access, you will not be able to sign in. Now when you go to existing guests, you can see it means only people that have access to it already can have access to it. And when you go to only people in your organization, it means that only people in the organization can access it. So when you come to more external sharing, you're going to see limit external sharing by domain. It means that if you allow only specific people with a domain, with a specific domain, only people with those domains will be able to share externally. But if you block specific domains, it means that only the domain you did not block will be able to share externally. I hope that makes sense. So now, on the other hand, if you say allow only users with specific security group to share externally, it means if you created a group and you added some users to that group and you say allow only, so if you check this, it means only those users in that group will be able to share externally. Okay, so now if you select allow guest users to share item they own, it means you want them to be able to share item they don't own. All right, so if you select this guest access site OneDrive will expire automatically, it means you want this file access to expire within a particular period of time. All right, so this is for the links. So it's always by default it's going to be on only people in your organization. So it depends on how you set it, but you can make changes at any time you want. All right, so choose the permission that's selected by user by default. So when you want to share a file, it's going to be on edit by default. You can always change it. All right, so anyone with the link, you can set it up. How many days do you want it before it expires? So the configuration depends on your preference and how you want to configure your sharing policies in your organization. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so now we are going to put it all the way down to only people in your organization. All right, and we are going to save it. Now when we save it, we are going to try to share a file, and we are going to see what happens. We should get an error that says we can only share to people in our organization. That means you will not be able to share to anyone outside your domain. You can see you can only share within your organization. All right. So that is when the sharing policies is on only people in your organization. That is when the sharing policy is only people in your organization. And also you can notice, because you put it on only people in your organization, the anyone with the link is not there. All right, so when you come to SharePoint also, so this is a SharePoint test site I created. When we click on the sharing, we should get the same error here. Like I said, the settings is the organization setting. You can see the anyone with the link is not here also, because we have the settings to only people in your organization. So when I put an external, we should get the same error on the SharePoint. Okay, so the configuration settings is like the organization settings. All right, this is the organization settings. Now you can actually configure OneDrive separately and configure SharePoint separately. What I mean is that you can decide to make your SharePoint only people in your organization and make OneDrive. No, you can make OneDrive only people in your organization and make SharePoint anyone with the link. I hope that makes sense. So you can see on OneDrive we have only people in your organization. Oh, we need to save this. So let's save this. I want to show you that when we make the changes back to anyone with the link, we should see the anyone back in the option when trying to share. Alright, so let's go back to the sharing policies. Now let's click on share. Before there was no anyone, now we should add anyone, because the option on the organization settings is no longer on only people in your organization. Same also with SharePoint. Alright, so on the SharePoint also we should see anyone on the option. So let's try to share and see that this option, anyone, will be here now. Okay. Alright. So now we are going to go to an active site, because we can actually configure a site level permission which supersedes the organization settings. Alright. So now I'm going to put SharePoint on anyone, only people in your organization, and let's go to a site. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to go to Thomas Test, the one I used earlier. Then we'll go to settings. Now when you click on settings, you should click on the sharing. You're going to see that the sharing policy is on only people in your organization, and that is the only option available, because we put the organization settings to only people in your organization. So the other options are graded out by design. Alright, so for us to have this show up, alright, for us to have other options on the site level permission, we need to do it the other way around. Alright, we need to put the organization settings to anyone with the link. So we're going to drag this all the way up to anyone with the link, save it. Then we are going to go back to the SharePoint, and then we should see other options. So this option is best if you are trying to have different sites with different organization settings. So you might decide that you want to have one site as only people in your organization and have one site as anyone with a link. So this is how you do that. You need to put the organization settings to anyone. Then you can see the option. Now we can select this site to be only people in your organization, and we save it. Alright, so this applies to just this site. This applies to just this SharePoint site. Alright, so when you click on more external sharing, you're going to see options just like the ones we have on the main organization settings. So when you click on advanced settings, you should see the option to limit sharing by domain. Alright, so just like the way it is on the organization settings, just the same way it is here. Alright, so we are going to close this and we're going to save. So on the right, you're going to see private and public. When you put it on private, it means you want to automatically put the site on anyone with the link. So whoever has access to any file in that site can access it without permission. Alright, because you already make it public. So when you make it public, everybody has access to it. But once it's private, you need a permission to be able to access any file. Alright, so now that we have configured the SharePoint, let us see the difference. Now on the SharePoint, we are going to try and share a file, and you are going to see that we will not be able to share that file externally, because we put the SharePoint site to be on only people in your organization, as you can see. Now let's go to OneDrive. Because we configured OneDrive on the organization settings to be on anyone with the link, we should be able to share on the OneDrive. Okay, we should be able to share. As you can see, we still have the anyone option, and we should be able to share externally. Okay, I hope that's making sense. Okay, Alright, so the next thing I'm going to explain to you is how to share a site to an external user. Alright, so for us to achieve this, the recommended option is for you to go to the SharePoint admin center and go to the advanced permission. Just go, that's the way I did here, by going to settings, add site permission. Then you go ahead to open the site permission, click on grant permission, and then you type in the email of the user, either external, any of the external, either Gmail or any other email provider. Okay, so as you can see, just the way I'm typing in an email now. Alright, so when you type .com, don't worry when it says no result found. That should not be an issue. It's actually probably because the user is not in the organization. Now you click on show options, which is going to show all the permission levels that are present on that site or in the organization. Alright, then you click on send. Now you can create a group through here and add users and share that file automatically to them. Alright, you can remove users permission. You can check permission by putting in the user, any email, then you put the email, then you click on check now. After putting the email, you click on check now, and it's going to tell you the permission level whoever the user is. Now click on permission levels to see all the permission levels available on that site. Alright, so now you can see full control, design, edit, contribute, read, view only. Alright, so now let's click on view only, and you can see view only is just the name. The description is just a description which was typed by manually. So what determines what the user can do is what is checked under this view only. Alright, so if I name this view only and I check that the user can edit, you can see that that is just a name. If it is view only and I check this box that user can edit, it means that the user can edit even though the name is view only. So I can decide to put it on, change the name to edit, and give view only permissions. Do you understand? Same as full control, but full control you should not be able to edit anything because everything is already checked. Full control means whoever has this should be able to access or do everything. Alright, so that's how the permission level works. As you can see, the edit, if I should uncheck the edit items, it means that the user will not be able to edit, even though the title is edit. Alright, I hope that makes sense. So you can create a custom one by adding a permission. When you click add a permission level, you can create your own permission. You can give it a name, you can give it a description, then you select all what you want the users to be able to do. So any user you give access to this or give this permission level, they will only be able to do what you check in the box. Only what you check is what they'll be able to do. I hope that makes sense. So let's say we give this view items, edit items, or approve items, or you give delete version, view, whatever it says you give to that user, that is what they will be able to do. So just know that the title is just a name. The description is just for you to identify what you gave this permission for. Okay, so with that being said, I think I've said most of what you should know, and if you have any further questions, feel free to comment in the comment section, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. If you found this video helpful,
do well to put in your notification bell, like, subscribe, and share.